Jesse Stiers, are you ready for rapid fire?
Pew, pew, pew. Let's do this.
Ooh, I like the pew pew. That's good stuff. All right. Got a few here. Let's see if we can make it happen. All right. NBC Sports announced that Notre Dame's Here Come the Irish series on Peacock will be extended for an 8th episode covering the Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, and National Championship. It'll be released February 6th. The first 7 episodes are all out now. So, scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
So right now, scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 5. I've only watched the first 2 episodes, the ones that came out at the beginning of the season. I haven't watched episodes 3 through 7 yet. But Vince, I think my excitement level goes to a 10 because when Notre Dame wins this game, I'm looking forward to going back and using this as like a documentary to relive all those excitement and all those, just the different feelings that came of them going on this run. But right now, I just don't have interest in watching because I'm just so locked in on finishing the season. But when the season finishes, and like I said, when they win, I think it'll be pretty awesome to go back and kind of relive those emotions, a month, 2 months from now, whenever it might be.
I've watched the first 6. I didn't realize the 7th episode was out yet. I need like some sort of like a reminder, like I don't know, like when another episode comes out, because I'm not exactly a frequent Peacock watcher. So I had no idea that the 7th episode came out. So that's on my to-do list for this evening as I'm cutting up all the podcasts from today. I will be watching episode number 7. I think that they have done an excellent job, with this whole series, with this whole documentary and everything. I wish there were more episodes, and I wish they were during the season. Totally get why they're not, but I wish it was a weekly thing. I think that would have been really cool. More of a chance that I would have made it on the show, which would have been really cool. Just kidding. Just joking. No, I think they've actually done a really good job. Here's a funny little anecdote about the show, though, Jesse. So anytime they use audio from somebody in the media or, have them on there or whatever, they got to get a release. They got to ask permission, that kind of a thing. I have been contacted by Notre Dame 5 or 6 different times. Hey,
so you're waiting for your plug.
So they're like, hey, here's a clip we want to use of you on the show. We just need you to sign the release. I listened to it. Every single time it's been somebody else from Irish Breakdown. It's never been me. Ever. I'm like, dang, I must not say anything all that good.
Wait, so they use Irish Breakdown clips in the Peacock show?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, they've used Trevor, they've used me, they've used Ryan, or they have not used me. Trevor, Ryan, Brian, and I think they've repeated a couple of times. It's never been me. They're like, I think I got this one right this time. I think it's you. Nope, it's not. So I thought
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Trevor was in the
made it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think he has. So yeah, me and your dad and you, we're just on the outside looking in apparently. Because I think they listened to
got in, and he's like the most recent hire of the bunch.
I know. I think whoever it is, I think they listen to the afternoon show. I don't think that they're listening to ours. I think that's really what it comes down to. But that's okay. Irish Gordian Knott says he thinks I was on episode 3.
Well, hopefully they pull a clip of me going absolutely nuts on Tuesday, just like hyping up everyone about them winning this game. That would be pretty.
I know,
sweet.
Right? Oh, but no, I mean, it's just, I think they're doing a fantastic job with that whole series. And I anticipate when each one comes out. So I'm really looking forward to watching the 7th episode. And then hopefully, like if Notre Dame loses, I don't know, like it's going to take me a while to sit down and watch the last
I don't think I'll watch it. If
you know what I mean?
Loses.
Like, yeah, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow, frankly. So I don't know that I'll actually be watching it, but they're, like I said, they're doing a fantastic job with it.
That's sweet, though. I had no clue.
Yeah.
Shows you when I told you I haven't watched the episodes. I'm not lying.
Yeah. No, hey, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. All right, let's see here. Back to the rapid fire questions. All right. Oh, by the way, I am a tentative 8 on how excited I am, by the way. A tentative 8. Notre Dame loses on Monday, it drops down to like a 2. But like, I'm excited to watch the 7th episode because I know Notre Dame has won, so I'm excited to look back on it, right? So yeah, I'm a tentative 8 on this one. All right, let's see here. Jeremiah Smith. We told you we were going to talk about Jeremiah Smith and Leonard Moore. So Jeremiah Smith and Leonard Moore are the 1-2, like the 2 highest graded true freshmen this season, according to Pro Football Focus. Obviously, they're going to be matching up on Monday night at least once or twice, or, depending on where everybody lines up and all of those things. So how do you see this matchup playing out? So Smith, Moore, how do you see this thing playing out? Freshman on freshman.
Yeah, I think this matchup is going to be great, and I think you're going to use Leonard Moore more so. I like Leonard Moore as a guy who's got the frame and the length to necessarily go up with Jeremiah Smith. But when we're talking about go routes and stuff like that, I like Christian Gray's speed and stuff to kind of keep up with him. But I mean, we've seen that Christian Gray kind of struggles with some of those bigger body wide receivers, and I know the sample size is small, and I know USC's game plan was quite literally to abuse him, but I think situationally it makes more sense to use Leonard Moore. And so I'm curious to see how Notre Dame uses him situationally, because I think he's going to have a huge impact on limiting what Jeremiah Smith can do.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Ohio State, game plans against Notre Dame. Like, look, everybody's talking about, what's Notre Dame going to do against these receivers and blah, 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 blah.
What are these wide receivers going to do against the secondary?
Exactly. How's Chip Kelly going to scheme up to get the matchups that he wants, right? What matchups does he want?
It doesn't matter if they're getting pressure straight down the throat on Howard.
Right.
Right. Quarterback can't throw the ball to the wide receiver when he's got a defensive lineman in his face or a linebacker in his face. So, that's part of it too. Notre Dame's recipe on defense is they bring pressure to help their DBs who are playing man on the backside, right? So, even if they're not playing perfect coverage, that pressure is a huge factor at the end of the day.
Yep, no doubt about it. And look, there's going to be a lot of factors that go in to whether or not Notre Dame is effective defensively in this game. One of it is going to be to put pressure on Will Howard. I mean, that goes without saying, right? The other thing is if you let's say they take away to a great extent Jeremiah Smith, what does Mbuka do? Right? What does Tate do? What does the tight end do? What are the running backs going to do? There's so many weapons for Ohio State. Can you take them all away? No. Can you limit their production? We'll see. You know what I mean? So what matchups? Like, as Chip Kelly has been watching Notre Dame's defense, he's probably watched every game that Notre Dame has played. What matchups does he like? You know what I mean? I would be fascinated to sit down with him pregame to talk about that. Like, what matchups are you trying to get your guys into, whether by motion, whether by formation, whatever? What are you looking to get out of this whole thing? I would be fascinated to see where he thinks he has the advantage, because I think it's pretty even across the board. So in that regard, it's 50-50, as to how this thing is going to go. But I'm really looking forward to it for sure. All right, Notre Dame Athletics posted a, quote, paint Atlanta green, unquote, graphic today. It was a couple of hours before the show. And it's not like some random site. It was Notre Dame Athletics. They're the ones that put this out there. Just to stir the pot, Jesse, there's no chance the Irish wear green on Monday night, is there?
I have to disagree on that one. They are the higher seed and are considered the home game in this situation. Yeah. So I do think they have a bit more liberty on the offensive, on the uniform selection. I don't see them going all green, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a hint of green in there. Ooh. Maybe a shamrock patch on the jersey somewhere, or that's more so where I'm leaning. Maybe some some touch-ups with some green or something like that. But I mean, if they go blue, they go blue. But I just don't. I don't know. I don't know why you tell everyone to wear green if you don't incorporate green to some degree. Because I mean, blue.
Well, that's the only color that Notre Dame fans can agree on.
That's true.
I think
a lot of people love to wear the green.
And Ohio State, they're all going to wear red. They're not going to come in gray or white or
so are they
anything
doing
like
it
that.
to try to get as much contrast as possible so Notre Dame can see who their
Yeah,
fans are?
I do think that.
I
think,
don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think they'll have some sort of accent of green in there somewhere.
I would love that if that was the case. I don't know. It's the playoffs. I want the blue, to be honest with you. But I do like what they do with green, and they've done a very good job. Like the playoff uniforms that Notre Dame has had,
I love
the
them.
gold accents and things like that. Like, I mean, chef's kiss. They're freaking beautiful.
Yeah, I think the green has to do more so with visibility.
Yeah, right. I think the crowd is going to be green. They want the crowd to be green. I'm cool with the crowd being green because that's a very sharp contrast to red. And so that's kind of what you want. You know what I mean? And that's been we've talked about this before. Notre Dame just doesn't have an identity color-wise for fans. You know what I mean? It's like, Ohio State red. I use red. Penn State white. All the fans can agree on it. So it's like Notre Dame has to tell fans, okay, we're going to wear green down in Atlanta. So we want you all to look the same. But I think a little green accent somewhere on the uniforms would be a nice touch. I do think that. But I think overall, blue. I want blue. And if they mess with the helmets, I would
There's
be
no way they'll mess with the helmets.
That I would have a sternly worded email to Notre
packing
Dame.
It up and driving back if they don't wear the
right. Oh, that would be terrible. But yeah, I think overall it's going to be the Blues. All right. ESPN's Heather Dinich reported today that the college football playoff will likely not make any changes to the format for the 25 season. Changes likely coming for 26, though. The reason being is they would need unanimous approval from all conference commissioners and Notre Dame, and that's probably not going to happen. So, Jesse, if you are a conference commissioner, what would your vote be?
If I'm the Big Ten and the SEC, I'm repealing it all. I'm voting to change it all. If I'm the Group of Five, the Big 12, the ACC, I'm not even. You know what? Sign me up. Let's just do this again, right? Because those are the three conferences that benefited the most, and the SEC and the Big Ten think that they got cheated at the end of the day, right? So I think there's going to be a divide at the end of the day because I think the Big Ten and the SEC kind of want to do their own thing at this point because they think they're the best at football every year, and I think that's why Notre Dame winning this national championship would be great for the sport because it would get the SEC and the Big Ten off of their high horse because what did Notre Dame do? They beat a Big Ten school, an SEC school, a Big Ten school, and another Big Ten school to win the national championship. So I think there's a lot riding on this national championship in terms of the future of the college football format if Notre Dame can win this game because I think a strong rebuttal is, well, look at Notre Dame. They're not in a conference and they just wiped out the top, 3 or 4 teams in the Big Ten, the SEC champ. So are you guys really that good that you need to go off and do your own thing? So I think that's kind of how the conversation will go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a small conference, there's no chance that you're voting to change anything in 25 because you're going to get outvoted for 26 and beyond. And, the way it shook out this time around benefited not the Pac-12, obviously, the Big 12 and the Group of Five, Mountain West in this particular case. It benefited them, and they were able to make more money because of it. And so I don't see them wanting or being willing to change. The worst thing that could possibly happen, in my opinion, moving forward is that there's guaranteed X amount of slots for the Big Ten or the SEC, right? I mean, I'm fine with the conference champions making it in automatically. That's fine.
Not a top 4 bid.
But they should not have a top 4 like that. I think that's nonsense. And this isn't coming from a Notre Dame standpoint because if you want to say that Notre Dame can't get a top 4 because they didn't even play in a conference championship, cool. I don't care because I'll sign up for a Notre Dame home game
every year.
That was so awesome. Like I would sign up for that every single year. And so I just think that guaranteeing a conference champion a bye is a little ridiculous. So hopefully that changes. It's not going to change for 25. We're going to be looking at the exact same thing going into 25. And look, at the end of the day, the SEC and the Big Ten got to step up a little bit more and just play better. And they'll have more teams in. I mean, that's just right. I mean, that's how it goes. So, but yeah, I would vote no if I was those other conferences. But if I was Big Ten and the SEC, I'd be like, we need to change it now. But that's just not going to happen because I can't even get like all my kids to agree on anything, let alone a bunch of conference commissioners where hundreds of millions of dollars are on the line. You know what I mean? Like it's just never going to happen.
That's a good
point. Yeah.
You can't even get your kids to what food you could provide for dinner.
Seriously.
Let alone.
You're not wrong at all. So you're not wrong. All right. Final one for tonight, Jesse, a little NFL flavor. Did you know Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford has the 4th best passer rating in NFL history in the playoffs at 103?
Did not know that, Vince.
But Matthew Stafford outdoors in the rain or snow is 1-8 over his career with a 54% completion percentage, 14 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a 76 rating. So this weekend at 3:00 on Sunday, there's a 50% chance of snow in Philly. So which Stafford shows up on Sunday?
I think the Matthew Stafford that shows up on Sunday is the one that grinds out a win and beats the Philadelphia Eagles on their home field. There's obviously a little hatred and bias in my answer because I hate those rat birds more than anything else. But I do think but to be completely honest with you, Jalen Hurts had that concussion. He was out for basically the last month of the season. They have a great defense that they rely on, but I just don't trust Jalen Hurts as a quarterback in general. And then you throw in, the lack of time that he's played in the last couple, in the last month or so. And we know what Matthew Stafford has done. He's won a Super Bowl. And like you said, I mean, half of those stats come with his time, with the Lions, which is a completely different story. So I just think Matt Stafford does enough to grind out a win this weekend.
You're calling for the straight up upset.
Yep.
Okay.
And I got Houston beating the Chiefs this weekend as well.
Wow. Okay. You're just looking for complete chaos in the NFL. I like that. I like that a lot because the Eagles and the Chiefs going down would be like, I mean, there's a lot of people predicting it's going to be the Eagles and Chiefs in the Super Bowl, obviously. So that would definitely mix things up a little bit. Look, I think to the question, I think Stafford will fall somewhere in between. I don't think he's going to have his worst game, but I don't think he's going to help out his 103 overall rating and 4th best passer rating ever in the playoffs. There's a reason he played in a dome, and there's a reason he played in LA. He's not a fan of the weather, and he came from Georgia. So, let's be real. He's not good in the weather, but he's also a very wily quarterback. He's a veteran. He's not going to take a lot of unnecessary risks. I don't think he's going to throw a bunch of interceptions because my guess is, without looking, that 1-8 record is like against Green Bay and Chicago, when his time with the Lions, when the Lions were god awful. So, you know what I mean? Like that's probably where that's at. So I will say, it'll be someplace in between. So he's not going to have the 103, but he's also not going to have the 76.
Vince, I came with a extra credit bonus question today
to
wrap up this show.
Do it.
Okay. When Notre Dame wins this national championship on Monday.
When
Notre Dame wins this national championship on Monday, scale of 1 to 10, what is your confidence that Ryan Day is still Ohio State's head coach?
Oh, 10. No, he'll be the head coach. I mean, you can't fire him after going to the national championship.
Well, you got to think about it though, Vince. What is their 2 biggest goals in a season?
Beat Michigan and win a national title. And a Big Ten championship, like all 3 of those.
He struck out on all 3, Vince.
That's a strikeout. That's 3 strikes and you're out, right?
How many national championships? Oh. And because they're heavily favored. That's the other part of this.
They are heavily favored.
The national media is not doing this man any favors, right? And so you strike out on Michigan, Big Ten championship, and the national championship. I think if you ask Ohio State fans, they'd say he needs to go. I don't personally think Ohio State would do it.
No, I don't think. He would be on the proverbial hot seat He would have a lot of pressure on him from the outside. I don't think he would have as much pressure on himself from the inside. And so I will say his job will be very safe at that point. So very safe.
It's you know what? I've been poking all the Ohio State Bears today, and I've asked every single one of them that question, and I've phrased it the exact same way. When Notre Dame wins.
Hey, I love your confidence, man. I'm not ready to be that confident just yet. At 8:00 on Monday night, that might be different. But I won't be on a live show, so it's okay. So I'm trying to temper my excitement at this point. It's still Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it is. We still got time. We still got days. So we'll
Can't
have
burn
to
the
wait and
juice.
see.
You got to bring the
No,
juice.
I'm too old for that. I'm too old for that. So, all right, Jess. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me on a Thursday. Appreciate it very much. For those of you curious, Notre Dame has an 11-point lead, and Sonia Citron is at the free throw line and just made it a 12-point
fourth quarter
lead,
just started.
So. Yes, it did.
You're double duty, man. You got
just saying, I'm excited about this because I wanted to see Notre Dame women were a little stagnant offensively in the last game without Hidalgo on the floor. They've picked it up in this game. Westbeld and Sonia Citron have picked it up big time offensively, scoring points. So they're proving that they don't. I'm not saying they don't need Hannah, but they can be a dynamic offense without her. Right?
You know what I just realized? I haven't seen you since I saw you at the basketball game from afar.
Ooh, that's right. That's right. You sent an usher over, which was really disconcerting, by the way, because I wasn't sure who he was. And he knew my name.
In trouble, huh?
He knew my name and everything, and I was like, "Wait, what?" No, but he was super nice. It was really cool. But yeah, that's right. And I looked over. I was gonna come see you after the game, and you
we booked it because we were there with Bailey and my grandma and grandpa, and
yep.
We had to. And it was rain. I don't know if it was that day that Sunday that it was just raining, and so we were like, yeah, we need to beat everyone to the car.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that sucked, by the way, the rain, but that was awful. We were just soaked by the time we got back to the car. But hey, it is what it is. So, all right. Let's get out of here. I think my dinner's upstairs. I'm hungry, and that's clearly the most important thing right now. So for Jesse, I'm Vince. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. We will talk to you next time on IB Nation Sports Talk. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, everybody.
Go Irish.